Madam Clerk. We're gonna break records tonight.
On roll call, Councilperson Zarita.
Here.
McCoy.
Here.
Sharif.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Galvan.
Present.
We're now at audience comments.
Robert Ray.
Thank you, Robert Ray Compton. Just have one issue on tonight's agenda. Under warrants, the very last one, 239-610, who is Juan Felix? We have a contract with a company called Best Restoration, supposed to do our emergency board up and what have you. You look at the invoice that Juan Felix gave the city, he said he cut the grass to repair the fence. And so why are we paying Juan Felix when we have a contract with Best Restoration? That doesn't make sense. Now, when I went online to see if Juan Felix had a business license, which I doubt, when I get my patio fixed, I had to get a business license to get with the city, to get a building permit and everything else. So if we're going to do business, the city's going to do business, they need to have somebody with a business license. But when I went to look up Juan Felix, I found out, and all of you folks got a copy of what I found on the internet, get Compton, California marijuana delivery service license. You can now get a license to deliver marijuana in the city of Compton. So, we have an ordinance, folks, on marijuana. Why are we not enforcing it? It's getting ridiculous and out of hand. You know, the ordinance spells out everything, but no one seems to want to enforce it. So I'm asking, you know, why are we not enforcing our own ordinances? Lastly, my pet peeve, Alondra Regional Park, and I'm going to come every week until I get some answers. What happened to the $5.2 million? On April 15th of 2014, 3 years ago, right in this chamber, they allotted $2.7 million to go with the original $2.5 million that was there. The property cannot be used for anything else except a park. The city is required to have so many acres of green space. That 18.5 acres is part of that requirement. It's contaminated, so you can't use it. And actually, I was checking, the real estate agent who sold me my house was touting that as a park as a selling point to buy my house. So we've invested $500,000 in a house with the idea that there's going to be a city park behind it. And more recently, and I mentioned this, getting my patio done, we spent another $10,000 just on permitted patios so I could sit in a patio and watch people in a park. Right now, all I see is weeds, coyotes, and possums. So it's time for Alondra Regional Park to get developed. Thank you.
Mr. Benjamin Holyfield.
Good evening to the Mayor Pro Tem, council, staff, ladies and gentlemen. I happen to live in that area. I have to sort of piggyback on Robert Ray's last comment as it relates to the park. I remember when there was a $5 million situation, they were going to do some businesses in there and et cetera, et cetera. Then they found out that the air situation or whatever wasn't conducive to that, and it stayed vacant for a number of years, and then we come down to $2.some million, as he was saying. But in the meantime, there was an investigation done in Riverside. Before you go into Riverside, there was a theme park, and all the rides and everything is brought in on trucks. So we do have pictures and so forth concerning that if the city would like to see those, and it must be utilized as a park. I've been living in the area for a number of years. So my next thing is that, so I'd like for us to get an answer on that. I mean, generally we don't really get an answer. I'd like for our council person to look into that park situation, and we'll give you all the help you need. I'd like to say that there's one project on Alameda and Rosecrans, or the bridge. We gave ourselves about 30 days on that. It went to about 40, but it's clean. The fence, the wire fence has been removed. No one living under that bridge anymore. It's decent and in order, and therefore, as far as me coming back and talking about that particular situation, I'm through with it. We've accomplished what we set out to do. However, on the west side of Alameda under that same bridge. That's getting a little bit better. And we would like to have from the bridge to Compton Boulevard and or the Metro Apartments checked into. For instance, there's a sign, it looks real ghetto-ish, that area there. There's a building with a tin roof. There's a sign that's sort of hanging and so forth, been there maybe, I don't know how many years. So we need to be able to notify each business, talking to the city attorney, each business on that Alameda situation, on the west side, on the bridge or Rosecrans to Compton Boulevard, let's say. And that'll complement the Metro Apartments also, and the ones that they're going to build. All those businesses need to be notified that whatever help they need or get those businesses in order. And we'll just start there and roll it to the rest of the city, I would believe. But particularly over there, and the reason I'm saying that, there's an agency along that area with youth. And certainly now that the environment is changing, it's conducive to the youth program. So everything around there should be conducive to a friendly, safe, clean, and friendly youth program. Thank you.
Albert Smith.
I was born and raised in Compton, and I want to thank Asia Brown, Mary Asia Brown, and her office. I had got a DUI in 2008, and you know I paid about $10,000 back. And when I would go apply for jobs, that DUI always held. I'll go through an interview, give an interview, and they would find out what I have on my record, and then they would not give me the job because I have a DUI. And I went through Asia Brown, the expungement program, and got it off my record because of her office. And I didn't have to pay a dime. So I really want to thank the office and the program. And she has other programs that's available that's helping the community also. So I just want to make that a point that it helped me. And at this point now, paying my child support, and I'm working with the IBEW, so I'm an electrician. So it's just a blessing. So I'm one of the stories that I'm able to share something positive, but I'm pretty sure that there's many. And I had a chance to come down here, and I just want to let you know that it's a reflection of what's going on in Compton right now for me. So thank you.
All right. Jamie Longwood. Jamie Logwood.
How you doing? I was here 2 weeks ago, and I addressed some questions.
Talk in the mic.
I was here 2 weeks ago, and I addressed some questions. One of them was answered. Two of them wasn't. She's not here for me to ask the questions, so we'll push on. Like I said last week, I'm here to basically speak for the youth. One situation seems like it's forgotten about the youth, and I know it should be brought up with the school board, but I think it's a community issue. You got Vanguard that you're going to lose, so you're going to have kids that have to go through different areas to go to school. We have Vanguard, school we're about to lose, which we're not. Thank you. I'm glad you answered that, because it was rumor, and I just want to clarify it because some youth were worried about losing that school and having to deal and go through other areas. So
If you'd like information about the school district, I would suggest that you attend one of their Wednesday board meetings so that you can get the facts from the board.
okay, thank you, thank you.
Rachel Townsell.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
I'm just here. I live on Spring Street, 1411 Spring in Compton. I've been living there 12 years now. We have not had a street sign in whole 12 years, and the street lights are always out, like always out. So it's like pitch black. You can't see anything. And I come home late at night. I come home at 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning from work, and I need to see what's going on. It's pitch black there. Thank you.
Mr. City Manager, maybe someone can get her address so we can follow up and make sure that we get a street sign there?
I have it, Councilman.
All right. Richard Earl Jr.
Good evening to all.
Good evening.
Richard Earl, 900 East Greenleaf. I'm here tonight to invite everybody to our candidate debate to be held on May the 27th here in the chamber. Next, I want to talk about, and it will be moderated by Dr. George Thomas. Next, I'd like to talk about waste disposal. I live on Greenleaf. Waste disposal, when they go up and down Greenleaf emptying barrels, they waste trash all up and down the street. I'd like to see them pick some of the trash up. Now, I know that is waste disposal because when I'm turning in my driveway, they were emptying the trash container. It needs to be, we need to start with people who come into our city and do services. They need to do our services correctly. All right? Next, we have a marijuana ban in this city. I think that each and every one of the council people who know they have marijuana stands in their city should be on top of it and trying to get those stands closed down. We have a ban. Let's live up to it. Next, we have an election coming here on June 6th, and as I go around the city, there are many people that really don't know we're even having an election. I think we need to have some posters or some banners or something here in our city announcing that there will be an election. Otherwise, we will have a dismal turnout. Thank you.
Thank you. Floyd Smith.
Good evening, Mayor, City Council, community. Good evening. I'm here. First is about the water bill. They don't send me no. Well, I don't be late on my water bill because my bills go out, all at one time during the month, at one time. So they send me a late notice. And I just disregarded because the bill was, was already out, but it just wasn't posted. Then they never sent another bill out, so I went to talk about my bill because it went from $76 to $107. I don't drink the water. I buy water. When I take a shower, I'm ashy. I'm very ashy. I don't know if it's the water quality of the water, whatever it might be. But however, I don't use that much water because I'm just me. I have another property. It's 3 in the house, and the bill run $110, and I'm by myself, and they run $107. But however, my concern is that I don't put out my trash probably. Well, the trash one thing, the brown cans is one thing. But the green is, I might put it out maybe 3 times in one time in 3 months. But here's the problem. I put it out on a Sunday, and the trash came down the street, picked up everybody's green barrel but mine. So what's the problem here? I called, they hold me up. I called Republic, they hold me up for like, they say 10 minutes, they hold me up for like 45 minutes. Then I just hung up the phone. I called the city. They said they was gonna send someone out to pick it up. I don't have nowhere to put the trash. And I'm just a little confused. You know, I don't know about y'all water appeal process. You know, how do people complain? You know, they just told me, just pay the bill. You use the water, pay the bill. I said, you know, something, the meter could have been a default. Anything could have clicked. It's just a machine, you know, just read. And they break. And he just tell me, pay the bill, you know, or I'll cut your water off. Yeah, that's very rude, you know what I mean? I mean, I've been here 41 years, you know, I've been paying, I should own the water company, period, you know, but I'm not, I just pay. So is there anything that we can do as a community to get a better appeals process through the water district, if it's possible? Sir?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Just maybe someone could get his card as well and his number, and we could follow up to make sure that there's no extra charges on his bill. And also, I want you to know too, we talked about the sidewalk. I also, before the meeting, I gave the address again to the city manager, and he's gonna give me a status, and I'll make sure to call you right away on that. On K Street. K Street. Yeah, but I reported it, I mean, I reported it about a month ago. He's gonna follow up again and see where we're at. All right. Robert Thomas.
City council members, I don't live in the city, but I'm a real estate agent, and I have properties in the city. And the city building department is out of control with the fees, with making plans. You gotta make certain plans, you gotta do certain things. I was actually working with David Dent on a property that I had.
Speaking of Mike, so we
Oh, I'm
can
sorry,
hear
I was working with David Dent, who's no longer here, with the property that I had, and I had a reinspection fee of $110 for the yard, for the lawn. It was too high. He said it needed to be manicured. I'm like, you're gonna charge me $110 to come out here and look at the grass? He said, yeah. I said, this is out of control. People can't afford your guys' fees. These fees are higher than other cities, way higher. I mean, when you're going to have somebody on a fixed income go ahead and get a set of plans, $1,500 to put windows in. I mean, some of these fees, you know, the contractor that I hired, he says, I would never come back out here to the city. I won't do business here. Then I started looking at all the contractors that are here in the city that are doing business, and I'm like, why are your fees on the bids that I'm getting for these properties so much higher? He goes, have you ever dealt with the city? Oh, yeah, now I'm learning. You know, they get an extra fee just for going down there because they have to deal with them. And I contacted the city manager about it 5 months ago. I really didn't think he was even existed. I've called, I've left messages, I've emailed. His secretary, she's very nice, Angela, even today, never heard back. Honestly, I didn't think you even worked here. Never heard back from you. So I think there's an issue with the building department here and the contractors that they favor to come in and give the bids, because the bids are way higher than other contractors. Something's going on.
So where's your property? In what
The
district?
property that I sold was at 800 South Bullis. That's just one of them. And now I'm working with Victor, which, here's another problem. 3 weeks ago, we had the final sign-off. Today, I picked up the final pre-sale inspection report. Today, it was finally ready after 2 weeks of waiting.
So who was gonna charge you the extra $150 for the lawn?
$110.
That was David Dent?
No, that was when David Dent was here, and I actually talked to David about it. And he was working on it. I sent him, we went back and forth with emails, and last week, I emailed him again. And he goes, I'm sorry, I'm no longer there, but Victor will help you. I've been dealing with Victor now.
He's
And
still answering his emails, city manager? He still has city access?
He's on the books for another week.
Thank you.
So yeah, he answers his emails. I went down and I talked to Victor about it today. And Victor's like, I'll look into it. I'm like, this is obsessed. I mean, this is ridiculous. Something's got to be done because these people in this community cannot afford these outrageous fees.
Okay, thank you.
And the contractors know that. That's why they take advantage. Thank you.
Somebody in the back will get your number. Okay. Thank you.
David Irons.
I need an interpreter. I really do. No, I'm serious. Some people don't understand English that come to these meetings. I need an interpreter. You won't give me an interpreter? All right, you discriminate against Korean and Spanish. Anyway, I'm here to talk about, I hope somebody speaks Spanish. Anybody can come up here and translate. But Compton pays the highest taxes in the state of property taxes in the state of California. And I know for sure. So I want the Spanish people know this as well, because it's not right to charge us, the school board, all right? You got schools in different cities, and our property taxes pay for the schools in different cities, or the county. That's why our property taxes are so high. That is not right. We should not pay for the school. Like the guy said, we about to lose Vanguard. Vanguard ain't in Compton. Rancho Dominguez, what's the name of that? Dominguez is not in Compton. And we pay the property taxes for other cities. And they say our cities are not doing good. My neighbor sent his children to different cities. He said he live in Compton because it's cheaper to live in Compton. Why should I pay for other people? Bunch ain't in Compton. I mean, it isn't in Compton. I went to Centennial. Bunch is not in Compton. All of these cities that surround us are in Compton Unified School District. Why is my property taxes going up to support these other schools? That, I get to talk longer because you wouldn't bring me an interpreter. But anyway, that's not right. You don't take money from the poor people. Look what happened to Torrance. On the ballot it says Compton College. That's so misleading. You know, it is so sad that, what they say, a sucker is born every day. A sucker is someone easily fooled. I ain't a sucker. Mr. Cornwell's mother was my teacher. So I got good grades in her class too. But we should not be supporting other cities. Our property taxes, like I say, I'm being redundant, is higher than anybody's taxes. If you have the real estate test, I'm speaking in 2 languages right now. If you have the real estate test.
Thank you, sir.
Oh.
Mary Edwards.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone. Talk to me. Act like, talk back to me. Talk about good evening. Okay. My name is Mary Edwards, and I'm the Executive Administrator of Key of Knowledge Community Development Corporation. We have a youth program. We have an after-school program entitled Academic Champions, and we're finishing up our 9-month series at the end of this month, and we'll be going into our summer enrichment program. But today, I would like to invite the council, the audience, and the viewing audience to come out to see this is how we do it. It's an open house. We work with these young people. We help them with homework assistance. We have structured programs for them, personal development, literacy, you name it, arts and crafts, performing arts, cricket, a number of things that we do with them. We would like to invite you to come and walk through to see what we've done all year. Look at our pictures and see what we do with our youth. This is the best kept secret in the 3rd District. And I thank God that Ms. McCoy has come out, and matter of fact, she actually used the facility at Tucker Park for an event. But she comes out to see what we're doing. It will be Thursday. I got flyers, don't worry about it. May the 25th, from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. at Walter Tucker Park. And if you need additional information, we have flyers with the phone numbers that you can contact, and we're going to have some refreshments. Not no dinner, refreshments, you know. But we would like for you to come and see what we've been doing with the young people all year. We have a partnership with the Department of Parks and Recreation, and for the last 3 years, we've been doing these services at Tucker Park free to the community. And we're in between New Wilmington Arms, Jasmine Gardens, and the community of Sunny Cove. And it's really a joy. And we would like to just invite you to come and see how we do it. We have some flyers. They will be in the lobby. And remember, it's next Thursday, not this Thursday, but next Thursday, the 25th, from 4 to 6. Just come on and walk through, meet the kids, see what we do. Because a lot of people say we don't do things with our youth in the community. I beg to differ with you. Come and see. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. And if you want to give your flyers to the sheriff, he'll probably hand them to the whole council. Prince James Reed Williams.
Good evening, City Council.
Good evening.
And everybody out there, too. Good evening. Again, just thank you for allowing me to be here today for the Honorable City Council and our Honorable Mayor, who's not here today. Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. I just wanted to actually come here with my partner, Dinah White. We are program managers with the Employment Development Department, and we really just want to say thank you for all your continued support of the Employment Development Department and the America's Job Center of California. We've partnered with you, a few of you up here on multiple projects, the mayor with a few job fairs, and I was just at Councilwoman Emma Sharif's business roundtable. Thank you for very much for inviting me. But I just wanted to share with you that I am a son of Compton. I went to Compton elementary schools, middle schools. I went to Compton High School, graduated, even went to Compton College. And as a program manager here, I'm very much invested in the community. I see people all the time from my schools, from my church. I even run into people who I used to fight with when I was a little boy, and people who call me by my childhood nickname, and that very familiar cadence that lets you know that they have no idea who Prince James Reed Williams is. They just know me as that childhood nickname. So I'm very responsive to this community, and I feel accountable for the people who are here. And with it, I want to share with you just the fact that we're doing a youth symposium at our center. And in fact, I want to say thank you for those of you who've actually come down to the America's Job Center to see what we do. In fact, I think I saw KW Tulis, who used to be in our Youth Employment Opportunity Program, who now is a field representative for Nanette Barragan Diaz. He's a product of what we do with our community and with the youth here. But we wanted to maybe invite you to participate in the youth symposium. We have worked with Robbie Williams and other representatives from the Compton Unified School District. I'm sorry I'm talking so fast, but I only got a minute and 5 seconds left. But we've talked to representatives from the Compton Unified School District, and we've identified about 60 youth from the Compton high schools, all 4 of them, to come down to the America's Job Center of California, where they're going to receive information on financial literacy, making the bridge from high school to college, some job preparation exercises. Coming up next Friday, the 26th. It's not really an event open to the public for all youth to come by. It's only because a lot of our staff members are reaching into their pockets to provide continental breakfast and lunch for the youth, so we can't afford to have maybe 200 youth show up. But we're working in partnership with the Community Career Development, Inc., Housing Authority of Los Angeles. We've also even reached out to representatives from Noah's Bagel and Compton Career Link to provide services here. So again, we just want to say thank you for your continued support of the America's Job Center of California and all that you guys are doing with us to better employability options for our youth, and to invite you to the Youth Symposium Friday, May 26th. Okay.
Thank you, sir. If you have flyers, feel free to give them to the sheriff as well.
Absolutely.
All right, Maria Villarreal.
Good evening. María Villarreal, buenas tardes. Mi nombre es María Villarreal, residente de aquí de Compton, resident of Compton. Tonight, I have 2 questions. One is for Councilperson Tana McCoy and Ms. Emma Cherie. Ms. Emma Cherie, as a reminder from me to you that when you were elected, you promised the citizens of Compton that you were going to come in and bring a report of every event that we provide in the city of Compton. And this was the Cinco de Mayo and other events. So it's just a reminder. I'm expecting to hear those reports probably next meeting, to be transparent. The event that happened this Saturday and the airport, they were charging for the rights. And I wonder, how much revenue we brought to Compton. Thank you. Another thing that I have, another question. A couple of weeks ago, I came in and asked for the fog system for restaurants business in the city of Compton. And Mayor A.J. Brown said that she was going to look into it, but I'm just bringing it back because being part of the chamber, I work with the businesses, and that's something that we talk about all the time. Fog system, we should know as a city officials what that means and why we're charging all these high fees. So please let us know what we have come out with, and you can call the chamber or leave a message, or you can respond next week. That's for the benefit of the business. I heard a gentleman talking about business license, business permits, and all this. He's right. That's what we're going through every single day in our city of Compton, business license. So if we want to do the right thing, let's just start with that. To me, there will be transparent if every single department will provide a report every month, once a month. If it's not every week, once a month, just to show them the residents what is going on. How much money we pay in business license? How much money we paying in water, and water bills? How much revenue we paying from the fog system, from the plans, permits, and all that? So it's just being transparent. The other thing that I'm going to talk really quickly about is the marijuana places. A couple of months ago, there was a bunch of people talking about closing the business of marijuana. They gather in the school district. They did meetings. They have meetings, and nothing is happening. A lot of things are happening in Compton with the marijuana places around our schools, so we need to do something about it. Thank you.
Mayor
Mayor Pro
Marie.
Tem, one
Oh,
second.
sorry.
The event that was at the airport was not a city event.
Turn your mic on.
It is.
Can't hear you.
The event that was at the airport this past weekend, it was hosted by Tomorrow's Aeronautical. It wasn't a city event.
Mary Brown.
Come on, Dad.
We have a World War II veterans in our presence. Thank you so much. My dad has been in the city for 60 years. He's been married, you guys check this out, for 70 years.
Wow.
This May is a really big deal for our family, and especially for my dad. And Emma Cherie and Councilman Tanya McCoy was instrumental in telling me to go to Dollarhide and check out the center to find out if we can get a date. And the date is this coming Saturday, the 20th at 1 p.m. Well, it just so happened to be the National Armed Force Day. Did you guys know that? It's National Armed Force Day, and he's a World War II vet. So how appropriate is that? I thank you for that, because we're trying to have this event. Again, it is on the 20th at the New Dollarhide on Tamaran at 301 Tamaran at 1 p.m. And I want to thank you for your time.
Thank you. Vernell Lyles.
Good evening to the council.
Good evening.
Good evening to everyone in here. My name is Vernell Lyles, and I'm the chaplain of VFW Post 5394 here in Compton. And I happen to be in Councilperson Galvin's district.
All right.
But what I'm here for today is to extend a plea. For years, there's been a stigma. On May 29th this year, the owner of Lincoln Memorial Park Cemetery and the VFW, we put on a memorial for veterans, active duty persons for years and years and years. And there has not been one of you there, as I know, since I've been. So I'm extending this plea and invitation to all of you in the audience, all of those watching, that you will come. We will start at 10:30 a.m. And it'll go about an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours, or maybe a little less. But after that, we'll meet at the post for free food. Everybody is invited. We have a great honor to extend. And we just lost World War II veteran in our post a little while back, and we hope if he's not a member of a post around here, we're going to get him in that post. So I'm asking all of you on May 29th, would you please come and help us honor the veterans? I hear that every day. Thank you for what you did. Thank you for what you did. But when we get there and we're having something to do with it, no one shows up. So I'm pointing that out right now. And I would love, I'm especially asking Councilperson Galvin and the mayor.
I'll definitely be there.
And everyone else. We start at 10:30 a.m. And I really appreciate you all for listening to this loud talk. So thank you and have a blessed night.
Sir, Sergio's my liaison. He's going to get information so we can make sure to put it on the city website and the social media to make sure we get everybody there to support you. Miss Joyce Kelly?
Good evening. I am Joyce Kelly, and I was a candidate for the 3rd District. Did you know that there is at least one candidate running for a position on that administration who owned pot shops, allegedly? So beware of who you vote for because it might be coming back to bite you. Asia Brown isn't here to answer the question, what happened to the overpayment of the water bills? She said it was supposed to be kept for a rainy day, but there's no money there. As far as Alondra Park is concerned, I remember a few years ago going and attending at least a couple of events to let us know what was going to be in that. It was more than a couple of years ago because Eric Perritt was there. And I vividly remember what was supposed to be put in that park. It's a site of a waste dump. So as far as the money's concerned, Ms. Councilwoman Arsenault asked about the money, and Kofi said not to worry about it, it was there. Some of you people came to that town hall meeting the Congresswoman had last night. Did you know that there are cancer-causing agents in the city of Compton? Do you know where they are? I bet you I do. Because a few years ago, I contacted Air Management District, Quality District. But they said their sensors didn't show anything up. But since then, I've had 2 brothers and a sister-in-law to die from cancer in that area. where I told them I smelled what was going on. Do you all care? I don't think you care. It's either in the 2nd district where I'm thinking, or over in the 3rd district. But these have been problems and issues that you get in those seats and you care nothing about the people here. I don't even know why I waste my time coming here to talk to you. Councilwoman came from D.C. to talk to us about it. That was not what that town hall meeting was supposed to be about. But she thought it was so important that it came to our attention. It's important to me because people matter. That's why I'm here. Because I'm here because some people want to be here but can't be here. So I urge you, check the water. It has not been tested. Water is brown. Compton is going to become another Flint, Michigan, if the people in Compton don't stand up for their rights. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Kelly. Kim DeLay Manning.
Good evening, City Council. First of all, I want to give thanks to members of the City Council who did assist us in recognizing the Sisters of the Holy Family with a commendation last week. Last weekend, we had a beautiful celebration of these women. 40 years they served in the city of Compton, educating our students at St. Albert the Great, Regina Chaley High School, Queen of Angels Academy, and Our Lady of Victory. And I thank you, Councilwoman McCoy, for making that happen for us. And also, I am pleased to say, although we haven't solved the problem, I did have a visit by Mr. Harvey today regarding the water. So Councilwoman McCoy was on her job. She did what she could do. She can't clear it, but we're moving along. My big concern today is about emergency preparedness. We've been having these meetings. We had one meeting, and I saw members of the City Council there. We've been having these meetings, and I don't see members of the City Council there. And I dare say Councilwoman Zarita was at the last meeting because we had representation from the water, Metropolitan Water was there, and she did come for that. However, should something happen in this city, where will we be? Because the City Council won't be there. I'm really concerned with that. I don't see any effort being made to protect the citizens. We have plenty of seniors here, and everybody's quiet. We're not worried about that. We're worried about this election. Some people do know about this election, and there are things going on that have to stop. I was personally attacked by a candidate, and I'm going to say this to everybody in public. Should Mr. Tomas, what's his name, Carlos, attack me again, I will be filing charges. Make that clear. I don't care if you're a candidate. Each citizen has a choice, but you don't run me down and tell me what you want to tell me. When I excuse you politely in public, don't try to show me out, okay? I won't have it. I'm not the one, okay? I am straight out of Compton, okay? The other thing is the marijuana. We have an ordinance. That's funny to me. Mr. City Attorney took the time to take care of business. We have a video that shows the supplies going into these marijuana centers. I don't hear a word about it because we do know, we do have proof that 2 members of this council are supplying or have centers. They're running them. Okay, I was told by several members of this council, no, that's not happening. I'm going to let you believe that because I know what I saw, okay? And the other thing is the lack of decorum. Today is Tuesday, May 16th, and this is the City Council meeting for the City of Compton. That was not stated. Thank you.
Donald Smith. Mr. Donald Smith.
Good evening, City Council members, City Clerk, City Manager. My name is Donald Smith. I'm President of 136th Street Block Club. I just had a couple of issues that I wanted to try to get clarified. And the first one is, just like the lady before me spoke about the oversight of the elections, and no provisional ballots were available. And last time I was at a meeting, we had several people suggest that the county should oversee the election. And I kind of wanted to get an update on that, one. And then my second thing was, as far as the Brickyard, lease, the people that's going to lease at the Brickyard. I understand it's Best Buy and another store and something else, but I just want to make it clear, it's not going to be a juvenile detention center. The mayor's not planning on placing a juvenile detention center at the Brickyard, or would that be something, a decision solely by LA County? Or would Compton have anything to say with what goes in the Brickyard? I could address that question to you, Mr. Cornwell, you city attorney. No.
Mayor Pro Tem.
Sure.
It's my understanding there are two agencies, Best Buy and UPS, and both are distribution centers.
Mm-hmm.
Not the juvenile detention you referenced.
And then the second part of that particular question would be, how much influence does the city of Compton have versus if the property is owned by the county of Los Angeles? Who regulates that? Is that solely the county of Los Angeles?
That property is not owned by the county.
Oh, it isn't. All right. And then the other question was about the election. Is that going to be something that's going to be monitored by the county?
Right now, it's in the charter that election official is the city clerk by charter.
All right. Okay, well, thank you for your time.
Excuse me, Mayor Pro Tem. No, I'm not. You did. I wanted to address a comment you made. Mr. City Attorney, so you say it's by charter that the election cannot be overseen by the county?
It's by charter that the elections officials, the city clerk, is designated in the charter.
The election official,
Yes, ma'am.
but it doesn't state whether or not the county can oversee it.
Those words aren't in there, no.
Thank you.
Donald Smith? That was you? Sorry. F. Hernandez. And that's how he wrote his name. Look at F. Hernandez.
Ms. Brown usually touts that she has 2 degrees when it's convenient, but why didn't she ask the questions that I have? Why did it take someone from the public to actually ask those questions? One of the questions that didn't get answered was the $1.8 million that for the 3 bridges. No one seems to know where that money is or why it's taking from 2013. Where is the money and where's the progress? Mr. City Manager, you just got here, so is there something that you can possibly look into? There's 3 bridges that should be fixed with that 1.8 million. It's 1,888,000. Is it the county that's holding it up, the city of Paramount, or is it the city? Are you guys responsible for holding it up? It's 2013. We're in 2017. I'm pretty sure everyone agrees it is pretty absurd. Item number 3 is pretty upsetting. There's at least 5 cameras in the transit center. Why can't Compton have a vibrant transit center with a place for us to grab coffee before getting on the train or bus to go to work or school. It's something that we could probably be proud of, but it's become a disturbing scene of kush, trash, public urination, contact high, and just overall chaos. It's ridiculous that there's security and the sheriff, but they can't enforce anything. Are you guys tying them down? Let's require Captain Thatcher and the city manager to be a part of this workshop. Let's get their input to see if we can actually address something and attract something to the Compton Transit Center. It should not be run down like it looks right now. It's fairly new, but it looks like it's been there 25 years. There's absolutely dead space there. There could be a coffee shop, there could be something else. You're attracting two people, MTA, well, MTA is already there. And Apex, what would their role be in? It's as blank as one page with a little blurb. I don't understand. The other thing I'd like to address as well is we have a city council that is pretty reactive. They're not progressively looking at things that are out there that potentially can be addressed. There's a lot of mobile homes that are popping up all over the city. Maybe this is going to look like one of those TV shows.
Janet Coleman. Okay. I accidentally skipped you. That was an accident. Sorry about that. Miss Lynn Boone.
Lynn Boone, City of Compton. First of all, I want to say I'm really proud. Mr. Ray, I want to thank you. You actually went over some items that I don't have to say now. Item number 2, I just want to question it because I thought that we don't transport patients anymore. So why is the city being held for paying for the administration fees for transportation of patients? And since this agenda is so small and somebody else has taken care of the items, I have a few things to say. As far as the election, there was only 7% of the actual voters here in Compton that participated in the election. And people of Compton, there was 93% of the voting population that didn't participate. But I did something this time that I hadn't done in the elections that I participated in. I actually got out there and walked. And I spoke with the citizens, and they were just like too through with what's going on up here, and especially the mayor. But as I walked, I saw these things on the door about a plan. And the mayor standing up there with her hands on her hips saying that I got money to repave every street in Compton. Well, I want to say that that is not true. And the other thing, those plans, not one of those plans have ever come across this dais. And we don't have a dictator. One person does not run this city. But there is a runoff election for June the 6th, June the 6th. And there was actually 5 candidates for mayor. I can honestly say that 3 of the candidates were actually people that were really willing to run. One of the candidates was a person that just wanted his name out there for an upcoming election. The other person, Mr. Bradley, he really didn't tell the people that supported him the truth, because Mr. Bradley will never be able to sit in this seat as mayor. But unfortunately, he has become the person to run off against Ms. Brown. Well, with that being said, a lot of people don't want to vote. But you know, this is the only way we're going to be able to get Ms. Brown up out of here. Now, I don't support Mr. Bradley, and I can openly say that. But my thing is, I know he will never sit in that seat. he goes back to court on June the 9th. But I will vote for him with my eyes closed, but I will put my mark there. Because if you put a blank ballot up there, I'm going to tell you, it's a vote for her.
Craig Henry. Mr. Craig Henry.
To the distinguished council, Mayor Pro Tem Gilvan, and I could not stand here without recognizing this esteemed clergy that I see back here, especially my friend, Bishop Sanders. God bless you all. God bless you. I'm here just to say thank you to the council for the vote last week for Volunteers of America. My face, I'm sure, said it all. But thank you all so very much. That's one thing. And secondly, I'm not here to complain. I'm not dodging as many potholes as I was. I see, let me finish. I see where potholes have been paved, especially on Wilmington and the 91 freeway. I go home that way. I had to dodge, duck, do all of that. So there are potholes being filled in the city, and I'm appreciative of that. I'm also appreciative that the council, can we allow folks to?
I'm sorry about that.
Thank you.
Let's keep the audience comments down, please.
Thank you. I just really want to say that I've grown, I'll say that. But thank you very seriously to all of you. Craig, your office is amazing. Cecil, you're new here. You catch the wrath of all of this, but I've worked with you personally. Your office is amazing. Emma, Tana, Jana, Mayor Brown in her absence, and my friend Alita, I really just think that the city is trying to move forward. And we as citizens have elected the people that sit at this dais. The people have spoken. Gilvan's not in a runoff. Tana is in a runoff, but the people voted. And respect is most important to those who are due respect. And we are disrespecting people that are elected officials. It's unfair to me. It's truly unfair. If I have a beef with Emma, let me pull her aside. To publicly comment about a person's family and their behaviors and curse them out and just blatantly disrespect them as city officials is unacceptable. We wonder why certain people are not winning. It's the behavior that you exemplify. These people could go toe-to-toe with the best of you, with their mouths, but they respect the seats that they're in. And we, as citizens, should respect them as elected officials. Thank you.
Madam City Clerk.
We have consent agenda.
Yes. Consent agenda? Consent items are routine and expected to be non-controversial. They will be acted upon. Excuse, did you sign up?
No. She can still speak. It's up to you all. I can.
Oh, you called her up?
Just state your name.
My name is Tamla Robinson.
Oh, I didn't know the process, that's all, I'm sorry.
Okay, I'm sorry. I just didn't stand up as soon as he got done, but I did want to speak.
Okay.
I'm just actually just trying to remain acquainted with everybody, mayor and council. I know mayor's not here right now, but I'm at 357 West Compton Boulevard, and we're having network mixers every Friday to raise funds for a film studio here in the city of Compton, which I think is going to be highly effective for the community. so that we can give people insight about what's going on, allow people to have a public community voice. And we have a lot of support, and we hope that we can get you all support. With God help, hopefully we can. Thank you. My name is Tamala.
I want to ask a question, maybe to the attorney or the clerk. So just when public, if they didn't sign up for public comment, anybody can still speak? Just because in case someone does it next time, I want to make sure everyone's treated equally.
The pastors, acknowledge.
Mayor Pro Tem, our audience comment sign-up sheet is our way to organize the comments. It's officially closed once we move on to the next subject area. If there is someone that happened to be missed, I would say that it is best practice to allow that speaker time to speak.
Yeah, I don't care that she's spoken. I'm just saying in case next time, you know, because I don't run the meetings all the time. If someone does that, I want to make sure everybody gets treated the same. That's all I cared about.
So once we move on, audience comments are closed.
Thank you.
So we're at consent agenda?
Consent items are routine and expected to be non-controversial. They'll be acted upon by the council at one time without discussion unless the council member requests an item to be removed or discussed.
I'd like to discuss number 2.
Item number 2 is being removed. Is being removed. So a motion on the.
Second.
Roll call. Councilperson Zarita.
Yes.
McCoy.
Yes.
Sharif.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Galvin.
Yes.
Item number 3 under City Manager's Report is a request to set a workshop regarding proposals from 2 prospective developers, Apex Realty and MTA, for use of the MLK Transit Center, requesting that workshop be scheduled on June 27th at 4 p.m.
So moved.
Second.
Councilperson Zarita.
Yes.
McCoy.
Yes.
Sharif.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Galvin.
Yes.
Item number 4 under new business is a resolution of the City Council, City of Compton, acting in the capacity of housing successor, authorizing the city manager to increase the loan limits under the home improvement program in accordance with the requirements of California Senate Bill 341.
So moved for
second.
discussion.
Discussion?
Discussion.
Yes, I have a few questions, Mayor Pro Tem, if I may. My question is, Mr. City Manager, if the delusion of the agency was in 2012 and SB 341 became effective in January 1, 2014, does that mean that we could have increased this over 3 years ago?
I don't know that for sure, but I know that the request tonight is to allow the increase so that we can actually effectively rehab these homes, because the old limits were so low that it did not allow us to effectively do the rehabs. Dr. Kofi will come up and do a presentation, and he probably can answer that question for you.
It's just a yes or no.
The question again?
Could we have started this in January of 2014 when SB 341 became effective? Could we have increased our home loan?
No, Councilwoman. At that time, we didn't have an approval of our long-range property management plan, and we couldn't have access of the bond funds to carry out the loan limit that is requested.
We
could not.
we just gained access
We-
of the
we-
bond funds?
Last year, we got approval of our long-range project management plan, which also enabled us to carry out this new SB 341 legislation.
So why did it take so long? Or was that when our bond became available?
We couldn't release, yes, based on the dissolution of the agency, we had to carry out certain activities before we could be allowed to utilize our bond proceeds. And one of it is the long-range project management plan. And then also we had to have finding of completion. And then, yes.
But I thought it was agency money and not bond money.
No, this is bond money, the tax allocation bond that was issued in 2010. And this is the part of the funds that was set aside for housing, new construction, and also rehab of our existing owner-occupied and multifamily housing stock.
And it's not agency money.
No, this is the agent's money that was issued. Agency issued the money, but actually it is the city. It was transferred to the city once the state approved that we can utilize this housing component. And so this is actually city funds under the bond that the agency issued. But as a result of the dissolution, we had to transfer these funds for housing, which is actually the city's custodian.
So now these are city funds, not
Yes,
bonds.
for housing.
City funds for housing improvement.
That's correct.
So why are, Mr. City Manager, why are we referring to bond money? So I can understand.
It's, Dr. Kofi, she's asking why are we referring it to as bond money?
There is a big difference between the lease revenue bonds and tax allocation bonds. The tax allocation bond is separate and actually does not obligate, it's not a liability on the city, neither is it a liability on the agency. The intent is to provide assistance for the community. And this is a major
So
component.
you have a presentation for this?
Yes, it's a brief one.
Okay, go ahead. I'll hold my questions to afterwards because when now you're using bonds, tax allocations, agency money, city money. Now we got all kind of money.
I will explain after this presentation. Yes, after the dissolution of the agency, the state also came up with another legislation which we call SB 341. And 341 required that the housing bond funds that redevelopment agencies issued should also be used to provide substantial rehabilitation of owner-occupied homes for the benefit of lower income and seniors and handicapped homeowners. The intent is to make sure that these funds address critical housing needs. What we have discovered also is that this legislation also provides a major radical improvement of older communities. The increase of the loan limit from the traditional loan that is given will enable the city to really strongly address key components of code violation, housing deterioration, and aging housing stock. As you look at the graph that we have here, approximately about 70% of the housing stock were built about 50 years ago. And given the age and the structure of these homes, the traditional rehab programs that we provide are not able to address major substantial rehab of these homes. And I would like us to look at the housing stock, and you could see that the bulk of the housing structures that were built were in 1960 to 1969. And as of now, these homes are also experiencing major deterioration. And as a result of that also, most of the occupants, low income, seniors, and also handicapped, don't have the means to fix these homes to address like room addition, overcrowded homes, garage conversions, and deferred code violations, which have resulted to some extent homelessness and also impacting the health and quality of residents. So by supporting this legislation, and also luckily enough, given the fact that the city has funds that could address the needs of these deteriorating homes, we, based on the demographic structure of this housing stock, this new program, this new loans increase will enable the city to really meet the housing stock that is in need of repair. And the benefits, as you can see here, the housing stock meaning home ownership and then also multifamily. That is housing that composes the city. And these homes are old because, like an older home, similar to infrastructure, potholes, housing is also a key need of assistance because of the aging structure. So the benefits that we get, these new loans will enable us to address currently about 70% of homes that are built before 1970. And also by allocating monies within 45 to 80,000, that roughly, averagely, will enable us to address home ownership improvement. We will be going a long way in bringing the health and safety quality of our homes. And what are the qualifications that will enable the beneficiaries of this new program? We have a qualifying income, and we can address substantial rehabilitation, and there is also a requirement for forgivable loans, and then the homes that are going to be assisted, they're not going to be paid back, they are going to be deferred. The most unique aspect of this program is that the current traditional program that we have is limited to 25 to 45. Now, we are moving to 80,000. That means that it's like garden homes. It's like the old redevelopment, but this time we are transferring this old redevelopment to homeowners to actually improve their homes without also making payments on these homes, on these improvements. And so far as they live in the home up to 45 years, there are no obligations for them. And the beneficiaries of this program, as I had indicated, goes towards mostly seniors, mostly low income, mostly handicapped, and also given the fact that most of the housing structures in this community are over 50 years, and in compared to new cities, we should be beneficiaries. And we do have the money. The money is there. These are bond proceeds, and they are going to be utilized for the benefit of the community residents.
So how much money do we have?
We set aside $2 million, but there could be extra additional, given if in fact there is more positive outcomes, this amount could be increased, because as a result of the wisdom of the council, when we issued the bond in 2010, we intentionally set aside this pot of funds which could be used for new homes and also to stabilize existing homes and to prevent declining neighborhoods. And I think this is one of the best, I would say, positive outcomes that the residents could be able to access to enhance the stabilization of their homes.
So when do they start dissolving?
Your question again?
Does the loan dissolve over a period of time, or just at the end of the 45 years?
In accordance with the state law, beneficiaries of the loan, if they live in the home up to 10 years and they met all the requirements, after 10 years, there's no obligation. Now, from 10 years to 45 years, the loans are no longer there, but at the same time, the requirement is for the beneficiaries to live in these homes. And their intent is to stability long-term ownership in a home also creates a stable neighborhood. And
So-
this is one of the criteria.
So let's be clear. So if the person gets the $80,000 and does the rehab and meets all the obligations, if they sell the house in 15 years, they owe the loan back, correct?
If they sell a house in 15 years, there is so far as the buyer of the homes will also meet the criteria of the original home buyer. Let's get.
Oh, so it can carry over.
It can carry over because the benefit of the program is to assist seniors, low income, and those who could not be able to afford housing loans in the ordinary market. And so their intent is to maintain a stability of a neighborhood by ensuring that anybody that sells their home who are beneficiaries should be able to also provide the same privilege that they got initially.
If I understand correctly, Council Lady, if the home is sold to someone of similar income, they can continue to have the same benefit, and the loan is basically transferable.
So the way I'm understanding it is that if it's like a silent second, so at the point of sale, the $80,000 or the remainder of the loan is not included in the sale price of the home. Is that correct or incorrect?
That's correct, yes. It's not included, yes.
Thank you.
I'm going to bring up Mr. Adams.
Thank you. Mr. Mayor Pro Tem, members of the City Council, we just want to clarify a couple of those answers. One is that this is a highly income restricted program now, as will all the housing funds be. The housing funds can no longer be used for moderate income purposes. They can only be used for low and very low income. So the persons who would be able to participate in this program would be those whose incomes are limited to 80% of the area median income. The loans would be forgivable after 45 years. The loans are assumable on sale at any time. Okay. However, they are only assumable by persons who have the same income qualifications. So for the entire 45 years, a covenant would run on the property that would require any transfer in title to be made to a person who also was low income or very low income.
Gotcha. Thank you for that clarification.
Okay. Yes. Mayor Pro Tem, one question I had is that I know you're saying that that the property can only be transferred to another low-income person. What happens, say that a person, a senior, get the loan, they decease. What about the property? How does that affect their children as far as their property is concerned?
The title on the property would be income restricted. So in terms of passing the property down as an inheritance, the person who goes on title has to be income restricted. They have to be low income, so their income cannot exceed 80% of the area median. But the property is transferable. You can transfer the property while the loan is under the 45-year affordability covenant. The grantee, the recipient of the title, simply has to be income qualified, low income or very low income.
So say that there isn't anyone in the family that meet those qualifications, how does it work? What happens then?
Well,
do they have to sell the property, or how does it really work?
Well, the loan program in and of itself doesn't contemplate itself as an asset of inheritance. But if a condition occurred where the original borrower was no longer able to continue in the property would be able to be conveyed in a sale to another person, whether they're a member of the family or not, would not really be an issue. The issue would be the income
The
qualification.
income qualifications. Okay, thank you.
So, my question then is, if not, then the loan would then be a part of the value of selling the house? It
The
would
loan-
be added to?
The loan would then
It would come.
become due.
Right.
Upon
Okay.
sale.
Okay.
It would then become due.
Okay.
And it would be returned back to the city. The proceeds would be returned back to the city. And those proceeds would then be returned to additional low-income housing activity by the city.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Madam Clerk?
There's a
Any more
motion.
discussion? Roll call.
Councilperson Zarita.
Yes.
McCoy.
Yes.
Sharif.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Galvin.
Yes.
Item number 5, under approval of warrants, warrant number 239369, May the 4th for CMEX for purchase of sand and water for water main break in the amount of $1,632.55 requested by the Water Department. Warrant number 239423, May 4th for online solutions for a subscription for permit and license software in the amount of $14,400 requested by the Building and Safety Department. Warrant number 239471, May the 4th, Victor Sanchez for a plaque for a basketball ceremony in the amount of $234.90 requested by Parks and Recreation. Warrant number 239595, May the 10th, West Publishing Corporation for publication and online charges in the amount of $7,364.71 requested by the city attorney. And warrant number 239610, May 10th, Juan Felix for emergency board-up services in the amount of $1,000 requested by the Building and Safety Department. Total amount of warrants, $24,632.16.
So moved for discussion.
Second.
Mayor Pro Tem?
Go ahead.
On this item dealing with Mr. Juan Felix, I went back and I was looking at it. It appears that in the back of material, it states that it was, this item was supposed to have been for something other than boarding up. I'm trying to find it now. I think it says something about cutting grass, and I'm just trying to figure out what was actually done. Was he boarding up? Because we do have a contract with someone that does the boarding up, so exactly what was he being paid for? Because in the back of material on the invoice, it states something different.
Mayor Pro Tem and Council, that request was made by Mr. David Dent on an abatement issue. In the absence of Best Restoration, we have a couple of small vendors that are contacted, and David requested this vendor to come out and do the abatement process.
Mayor Pro Tem? May I?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, you know, I think in all transparency that this item needs to be pulled and investigated, because I believe Juan Felix is an employee of Best Restoration. So either this is a new company or a subsidiary of Best Restoration, or it's bid splitting.
But on the, Mayor Pro Temp, it states here on the item that it was for cleanup and for cutting.
And repair of 3 feet of fence.
And that's exactly
Right.
what we have a contract with Best Restoration for. So I need to know, I believe Juan Felix is an employee of Best Restoration. So I see some bid splitting here.
All right, let's pull the item.
Let's pull the item.
Cut grass, clean up, and repair.
We need to verify who it is, because how can we just call anybody you want to call out to cut grass and make $1,000?
Mayor Pro Tem,
Yes, sir.
Since we have a motion on the floor, if we have an amending motion to subtract the Juan Felix warrant, it can go forward without that.
Let's
So
do that.
moved.
Second.
Madam Clerk.
On the roll call, Councilperson Zarita,
Yes.
McCoy.
Which one are we voting? Yes.
This is all except,
All except Felix.
yes. Sharif
Yes.
and Mayor Pro Tem Galvin.
Yes.
Yeah, council comments?
Councilwoman Zarita?
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. I'd like to, well, first of all, I'll save that one for last, because it's probably going to take up my comments. One of the speakers spoke about election banners, and Madam City Clerk, City Manager, whoever that falls under, I think we own some poles where we can hang signs. Is there any way we can get some banners to say Election Day?
There are, that's done through the banners are hung through the clerk's office. And there are a couple of poles, one over here on Compton Boulevard and one off of Central.
So do we, Madam Clerk, we normally hang signs?
Actually, the application to hang banners, the process starts in my office and then it goes through the city manager and he approves it. But many of our poles are in desperate need of repair. Personally, I wouldn't really recommend us hanging on them because they're in bad shape. They really are, and I actually have a proposal to repair them, but I haven't submitted that. But I think the one right here on Compton Boulevard, that one's in pretty decent shape, and then maybe the one on Greenleaf and Central. I think
So,
those are the two.
if we can use those two, and the ones that are in bad condition, they're metal poles?
Well, they're all the same, but it's the wire.
Oh, okay.
The
So-
wire is in need.
Who starts the process?
Well, I mean,
You?
the city, being the city, I don't believe we have to go through application process.
Well, you said
but-
the application and process.
Well, I just wanted to correct that the process starts in the office for anyone else outside of the city.
Okay.
I mean, we're our own self.
Okay, so I'm requesting some banners on the poles that we have that are safe and suitable for banners.
Yeah, but I've never printed banners, so I think you have to go outside.
No, I think,
Yeah, but you can't print them that big.
Yeah, I think they can down there with their
Well,
new
'cause
machine.
the only reason I'm
I
thinking
mean, it's
that they can,
it's a different material and it's.
the only reason I'm thinking is because when I
it's
did
specs
the free parks ones, they couldn't print them downstairs, we had to send them
But
somewhere else.
I don't believe.
But
they
Marvin
have.
knows where the guy that does it.
Okay, well, let's, city manager, can you figure it out?
Absolutely. I also need some verbiage that you guys want to use.
Election day.
And the
The
date.
clerk and.
And the date, and the date.
And then also, so I would like to announce my 4th annual Autism Adventure Swim Club at Gonzalez Park. I think that's my favorite program. And we will be starting, I got a beautiful flyer. I want to thank Parks and Recs for creating that for me. And I'm partnering along with Hub City Autism. We will start June 10th, 2017, through August 5th, 2017. It's from Saturday mornings at 9 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. The program is free, safe, and fun. We usually have Compton Fire on standby. And also, we have one requirement, and that's that a parent or guardian gets in the pool with the kids. And we have a great time. We have about 20 families that has followed us through the 3 seasons, so looking forward to getting started. And Mr. City Manager, Congresswoman Barragan did hold a town hall meeting here in the city of Compton yesterday that was very informative, but I know by the email trail that you had been in contact with the AQMD, and the monitoring of the metal finishing plants here in the city of Compton. So I'm going to request that any information that you receive, you present it to the people as well as the council. If you can give us a constant update on the findings of the monitoring and if there are any findings. And you could do that under city manager's reports. Thank you, sir. And then also, I went to a workshop this weekend that was very informative on the subject of, a lot of it was on the subject of marijuana, which we don't like to talk about, but recreational marijuana has been legalized. So now, as a city, we need to start working on some policies as it relates to recreational marijuana in the workplace. Can you go on your lunch break and get high off of marijuana? Can you, come to work high? What is our policy going to be? So we need to start working on some policies, Mr. City Manager.
The city attorney and I have worked on that policy, and the
I can't hear you.
The city attorney and I have already discussed this issue, and the rules that people can legally use recreational marijuana does not change our policy in terms of employees not being able to use narcotics as a matter of course for us as employers. So I'll bring back some policy to you guys and let you guys see that policy.
Yeah, because technically, is marijuana a narcotic?
Yes, marijuana is still a Schedule I narcotic according to the feds.
Okay. So as long as you guys are working on it, thank you, Mr. City Attorney and Mr. City Manager. And one last thing. So this is how things get blown out of proportion by people not really having the facts or not being not wanting to ask questions. Sometimes people think their question is dumb when it's really not, and you should really ask a question whenever you think you have one. So people that don't really understand the Brown Act and the city charter, Mr. City Attorney, for example, yesterday at a town hall meeting in the city of Compton, you had 4 council people there. I had a citizen to approach me and say that she had a serious problem with that it was a violation of the Brown Act. But can you explain briefly, if you can, or if you need to bring it back, the Brown Act and 4 council people meeting up at a town hall meeting, or even if you have 3 council people that meet up in the one restaurant in the city of Compton that we have? And is that a violation of the Brown Act, or where do we stand?
Thank you for the question. If you don't mind, I'd like to bring back a PowerPoint and agendize it for others that may want to come and hear it.
Perfect. I think we need that, and just to include public places and how we can sit, if we can sit together, and what we can do if we can laugh together, or what the Brown Act actually entails.
The quick answer: if you're not discussing city business, we can all be together for a event.
Iced coffee?
Social, iced coffee, whatever. If you're discussing city business, that becomes a meeting and restrictions come up.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
So, but I still want you to do the presentation, because I think it's time that we have one. Because a lot of times we all meet up at Fridays. We only have one sit-down restaurant in the city of Compton. And then I'd like to close in the memory of Director Joseph Parker. He was a longtime MWD director. Thank you, sir.
Councilwoman McCoy?
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. I am co-sponsoring a creek cleanup on Saturday, May the 20th at 8 a.m. We will disperse from 417 West Alondra. We will be cleaning up the creek trail. So we're asking anyone that's interested in coming out to please join us. It's in conjunction with World Oil, and we're going to be cleaning up the creek trail. So anybody that wants to come out, meet me there Saturday at 8 a.m. I will be sponsoring a spring tea and hat show on June 4th from 2 to 5 p.m. at Dollarhide Center. Please RSVP to my assistant, Vanita Alsonet, at 310-605-5688. No, I'm sorry, 310-605-5612. I gave you Dollarhide's number. They wouldn't be happy. And then let's see, on Saturday, May 27th at 10 a.m., the Compton Chamber of Commerce is hosting a candidates forum for the mayor, the treasurer, and the 3rd District candidates. The moderator will be Dr. George Thomas. Please come out. It will be here in the council chambers if you want to hear what your candidates have to say. Let's see, I have a couple of more things. Mr. City Manager, I know some time ago we were working on the fee schedule and it kind of just stalled, so could you please check to see the status of it and bring it back so that we can update the fee schedule? Thank you. I got a report on all the potholes, and I see that they were working in the 3rd District and filling those potholes. I thank you for that, as well as the cleanup on Greenleaf between Central and Willowbrook. And let's see, I have one more thing here. Oh, yes, on Visalia? Oh, yes, thank you very much. There's an easement on that dead end on Visalia, and it's usually a fire hazard during this time of the year, so we did go out there and clean that up. And then I have been talking with someone who's going to bring martial arts and self-defense classes to the park. It's going to be at Burrell McDonald Park. They're now accepting applications. It's a $20 fee. It's for ages 5 and up. It's no limit to the age other than you have to be over 5, and you will have to sign an insurance waiver. But other than that, we have two. One is a 3rd degree black belt, and the other one is a 6th degree black belt. So if you're interested, contact Burrell McDonald Park, and they will have the application for you. Other than that, that's all I have. Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor Pro Tem.
Thank you, Tana. Emma?
Thank you. The lady that came up and spoke about Spring Street, Mr. City Manager, will you please give me an update on that as you get that taken care of? It's 1411 Spring Street. I know the lights are out. And I would like to also request that you bring back an update as to what is happening with the marijuana dispensaries, because the community have a concern about that. We need to know what is happening. Are we still moving as far as the closure of those, or where we are as far as having those closed?
Thank you. That was on my list.
Yeah. And also, I want to thank the gentleman that came down about the VFW, about the event at Lincoln Memorial Cemetery. I usually attend. I was attending when I was a school board member, so I'm very happy to see they're back having this event on the 29th, and they're at the Lincoln Memorial Cemetery in regards to the veterans, so I think that's going to be a great event. Also, our next community town hall meeting will be held on Wednesday, June 14th at 6 p.m. at Kelly Park. That's at 2319 East Caldwell Street, Compton, California. I invite all of you to come out and meet and greet your local town hall sheriff and your city manager and myself. Light refreshments will be served. Remember, your voice matters to us. And I have a couple of questions for the city manager. Is that the businesses have been complaining about Petrolia Street located between Alondra Boulevard and Santa Fe. This was reported before, and I know that was during when we had the serious rain. They're having a difficulty because the street is really bad, and they're losing business because the trucks are not able to come in and deliver goods. So I hope you can possibly talk to the businesses there and see what we're going to be doing as far as moving forward on this issue, because in taking a look at our pavement management plan, this particular street is completely red, so which means it's in very bad condition. Mostly you see there is loose gravel and dirt there, so I'm hoping that we can be able to do something to help them there in that area. Also, I would like to, last week when I spoke with you in regards to myrrh, I would like to know when, you said this week that someone would be there to address the other part of Murrah. I would like to know when can I expect someone out this week in order to be able to finish the work that they started there. That's from past Long Beach Boulevard on the other side.
They addressed Murrah up to Long Beach Boulevard. I drove Murrah this morning with a pavement contractor. The potholes from really starting at Long Beach going just east of Long Beach is the worst part. Then as you go a couple of blocks further east, they subside, but the street is alligatored out. So I talked to Louis McKenzie this morning, and we'll try to get those guys out there before the week is out.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Hicks was here, and I really should have taken the time then to actually just wish him a happy birthday. He's 96 years old, and his birthday is going to be on the 18th. And so I would like to send out a happy birthday to Mr. Hicks on 96 years young. And I would like to close in memory of Shania King. She's the daughter of Michael King and Sharonka Allen. Shania King died on May 5th at the young age of 16 years old from heart failure. She lived in Compton and she previously attended Ralph Bunche Elementary School, Ralph Bunche Middle School, I'm sorry. Her memorial service will be held on Saturday, May 20th, but at this time, the announcement and location is not known. Thank you.
Council Lee, I can give you, Mayor Pro Tem and Council, a very quick update on a meeting I had a couple of weeks ago, actually last week, at the behest of Mayor Pro Tem Galvan with some attorneys regarding marijuana dispensary and actions that we need to take for them. I requested that this law firm give us proposal, and we'll be bringing something back to the council for decision. I also met with another firm at the conference we had this last weekend, who also provide the same services to Huntington Park. And Huntington Park has a very successful marijuana dispensary eradication program going.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor Pro Tem,
Yeah.
one more thing. Mr. City Manager did give me an update. They will be meeting about the traffic signal at the end of this week, the traffic signal on Wilmington and Greenleaf. So thank you, Mr. City Manager, and I look forward to you bringing back a solution.
Thanks. Let me see. I want to make an announcement of Saturday, an event. WRD, the Water Replenishment District of Southern California, is having their annual Groundwater Festival at their headquarters, 4040 Paramount Boulevard in Lakewood, California. It's a great event. Free food, free games, free activities for the kids. I believe In-N-Out is their sponsor, King Taco, free food for everybody. I think we're going to have a bus of our kids or seniors from Compton coming. I know that I had mentioned it to some of the park staff. I think it's a great event for them to attend. It's fun for the whole family. It starts at 10 a.m., and I believe it goes on to 2 o'clock. So anybody that's welcome to go, it's a free event, and it's fun for the entire family. Also, I also attended the conference in Indian Wells as well, and I attended the marijuana workshop as well as the water workshop. I think they were both very informative. I've been seeing with my own eyes, and I've also been reporting about a lot of shops I see popping up throughout the city of Compton, and they're just popping up with no shame. I don't know why it's so hard to shut them down. I really don't understand that. It's just funny to me how you get honest, hardworking people that try to do things the right way, and their businesses are put on hold for months, if not years, in the city of Compton when they try to apply for permits. Like the gentleman coming over here earlier today, how he's being charged these outrageous fees. But yet, when you want to open a marijuana shop that generates $5,000 to $7,000 a day, you can stay open for a year to 2 years and make all that money, pay no tax dollars, and it's not a problem. For some weird reason, I don't know why. I don't know why every single one of them is not shut down. Maybe somebody could answer that, but I think the city manager is going to come back with a presentation. But something that we really need to do, especially if we're not getting no tax revenue from it. like other cities that pass ordinances that are getting millions of dollars a year worth of tax revenue. So I really think we need to work on that ASAP. Also, I want to report again. I know you gave an update last time in a couple of weeks, but today I was driving on Santa Fe and Rosecrans, and the street sign is still missing. I think it's been missing since January. That indicates the street Rosecrans, which is a main street in between the Jack in the Box and the Taco Mexico. So hopefully we could get a street sign there soon. Do you have a status on that, Mr. City Manager? Because I know I've been reporting that.
I will check on the status. The last time I checked, the sign shop told me that the sign was on order, so I need to double check with that, and then I'll personally call the company to find out the status of the sign.
Thank you, sir. Also, again, I want to report on Alameda. They're starting we have a homeless problem in Compton, and they're starting to create a village right there on Alameda on the train tracks, right in front of Domino Cardoon, our oil company. And I want to know if there's something we could do about that, because there's 2 elementary schools within a 2-block radius of that right there. And first of all, it's not safe. Second of all, I don't think that we should allow someone to do that. I think we should offer help to the people that want the help and that need it. But I think it's something we need to address. I've been getting a lot of calls in my office from the residents driving their kids to school, and they're seeing prostitutes coming out of those tents and all kinds of stuff. So I think that we have to figure something out as a city to do. Do you have any input on that, Mr. City Manager?
Tomorrow, our housing staff, Ms. Director Green is going to do a homeless outreach. We'll do that tomorrow. I've also contacted Union Pacific law enforcement in their public relations office and reported that the homeless encampment. I've gone down there personally and visited the homeless encampment. It's actually also across the street from a recycling center. And I've also spoken to our code enforcement as well as the sheriff's department on trying to be vigilant on removing the homeless, at the same time being compassionate and offering them housing if they need it.
Yeah, we're talking about a whole city block. It's a whole block of homelessness. And also, too, Mr. City Manager, I noticed that I know that we have a contractor now that picks up the trash that's illegally dumped, and I've seen a real I don't know who the contractor is, but I think they're doing a really good job. But perhaps we could send a letter to some of those scrap yards and recycling yards and let them know that they should post some signs that says dumping is illegal dumping is wrong, and you're going to be fined and stuff. Because what happens a lot of times is people they get like a couch, and they take out the metal springs and they go recycle that. Then they leave the rest of the couch right there on the street because nobody does nothing to them. So I think we just really need to start enforcing some of the things that people are doing illegally and make them pay for it. Also, there was I mentioned this to you earlier, but I want to just say it publicly. There was a street crosswalk on Alameda and Pine heading westbound, and it used to be right there painted on the street in front of Domino Cardoon. It's only about an eighth of the way still there. You still see a portion of the line and then nothing, and then a piece of the line on the other side. Hopefully we can get right there and paint that soon, because it is a crosswalk where kids used to cross the street to walk to school. So hopefully we can get that repainted so that way we can make sure that our kids can walk to school safely. I know this is a little far out, but I'm going to be teaming up with School Board President Satra Zarita to do back to school backpack giveaway. We're going to do it August 12th at Looters Park. We're going to provide free backpacks and school supplies. We're going to be providing free haircuts for all the kids as well. And I'm going to reach out to Angels for Sight and see if we can do some free eye tests right there on the spot. And the kids that need glasses, hopefully they could get them right there on the spot. But I haven't confirmed that yet, but I'm going to be reaching out to her. And I know she watches a lot of the council meetings, so she'll be getting my call very, very soon. August 12th. Also, I believe we're going to have opening day baseball this Saturday in Compton. I know that there was some problems getting the funding for the uniforms. So today, out of my city council budget, I wrote a check. Well, I had the city write a check to cover the cost of the uniforms for the kids. I remember requesting a couple of weeks ago that we could bring the item back. It never came back, so I used the last of the money in my budget to cover it. That way our kids can play baseball and go out there representing the city of Compton well. I believe we postponed the opening day 2 weeks already, so hopefully, everybody will go out there and see them. Is there like an opening day ceremony, Marvin? Different parks? Can you name some of the parks, if you guys don't mind? Because I'm sure every council person will want to go to their district.
For the audience, this is Director Marvin Hunt for Parks and Rec.
Mayor Pro Tem, Council, Marvin Hunt, Director of Parks and Rec. Yes, we will have baseball season starting this Saturday. Our Division III, which is our midget division 12, 13, 14, they will be playing this Saturday at Kelly Park. The T-ball division, which is our babies 5 to 7, they will be playing Gonzales and also Burrell. The tiny Division I and Division II, they will start their games on Tuesday and Wednesday of the following week.
All right. How many kids do we have signed up?
There's a total of about maybe 370 kids total.
As opposed to how many last year?
Oh boy, last year we didn't have a baseball season.
See, so when we made the parks free for the kids, now all the kids can go afford to play now and participate. So it just shows that that program is working, and we have our kids out there exercising in a safe environment that is supervised, and we got the families out there. So it's something that I want to, again, applaud all of my colleagues for supporting, and thank everybody for, being a part of the great free sports for all the kids.
First game starts off at 10 a.m. That's our Division III over at Kelly Park. T-ball starts at 10 as well. So there'll be 4 games for T-ball, 4 games for Division III.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, sir. Also, I want to report on 1008 East Oak Street. There was a tree that was lifting up the sidewalk, and the city of Compton went and removed that tree, I would say at the first week of March or the second week of March. It was right in the beginning of March, and they left the stump there, and they told the lady, the owner of the property, who's a senior, that they were going to have the city inspect to make sure that the roots weren't connected to any of the pipes, and that they were going to come back with 2 to 3 weeks and remove the stump. And I think it's been over 2 months. And the lady called me today and said that she's scared that, she says that the residents always tell her someone's going to trip over that big giant stump. So maybe we can make sure that we get that big stump removed soon, Mr. City Manager. I think it's very a safety hazard. Also on June 28th to the 30th, we'll have the second annual DeMar DeRozan basketball camp at Luders Park in the DeMar DeRozan Gymnasium. It's Wednesday to Friday, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Boys and girls ages 5 to 17. Absolutely free event. So any kids that want to come out and be a part of it. And I also spoke with my colleague, Councilwoman Zarita, and I know she does a lot of stuff with the special needs children. So I mentioned it that we want to do a special portion of the camp for kids that have special needs to make sure that every kid in Compton is able to participate with it. It's a partnership with DeMar DeRozan, Nike, Spalding, Gatorade, Klipsch, and 2K Sports, as well as the city of Compton. And it's going to be taking place in the Great Second District at Luders Park inside the DeMar DeRozan Gymnasium. So anybody that wants to sign up, I believe space is very limited. I think they only have slots for 100 kids, and I think that they already have over 60 signups. So last year's camp was great. I was there the entire camp. We had a lot of kids come and stuff, and I think it's going to be great. And I think we're also going to be partnering with the school district this time to get some of the kids that play in the high school to participate, and even some of the coaches as well to be a part of it. So that's going to be a great event, and I hope everybody attends. It's always great when our own residents, they become successful and they come back and give back. And the last thing, my last announcement, I actually wasn't going to announce it, but when Jana was bragging about her autism swim club, I have a pool at Luders Park, and I want to do the same event there, and maybe we can work together so I could just copycat her event and, make sure we do an event at Luders Park as well for the residents that live on this side of town that can't attend out there. So I want to announce that as well, and I'll be reaching out to my colleague to get advice and her guidance on how she does it. And that's the end of my comments. Motion to adjourn.
Second.
On roll call, Councilperson Zarita.
Yes.
McCoy.
Yes.
Sharif.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Galvin.
Yes.